Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SBC podcast, the Shadowbrewcast. I'm your co-host, Canadian Moose. Down below me is Swagger Souls, also known as Red Heart
Stop
476.
that.
To my left here, we have the evil Redneck.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
I know
And
you're talking about. He's to your right.
oh my
dude.
god! So down
Right.
over in the bottom there, we have Baddies Percy in the bitchin' hat of today. All right, thanks for that, Percival. Really, very
Right,
insightful.
nice.
And today's a very special podcast. Today we're doing our very first guest interview. So today on the podcast we have official EBELS.
Woo!
Yeah, absolutely. Just as scuffed as you'd imagine, ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
sorry.
Hell yeah.
I got really quiet there because I just sat there and was thinking Fruity Pebbles.
Perfectly on brand for not sponsored, by the way.
Perfect.
Dude, hit me up. I'll be sponsored by Fruity Pebbles.
Anyway, as you can imagine, guys, it's going to be scuffed. As you can tell, the intro is about as scuffed as it gets with us out here. But this is our first kind of guest interview on the podcast. This is kind of going to be a system we're going to be moving forward with as we go. We have plenty of guests lined up for the show for you guys. It's going to be a really fun time. You know, we're going to invite plenty of guests that we really enjoy as creators and as people. So it's going to be definitely a fun time. It's going to be a little bit different, a little bit scuffed to start things off because naturally this is our first one. But hopefully we'll get better with things as they go on. And I just want to say before we get going here, really happy that people seem to really enjoy the podcast, both the video and audio versions on Spotify and YouTube. People seem to really be enjoying them. I'm so happy. It's great. Isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it actually is.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So we're really glad you guys enjoy them because we love making them, you know? Despite all the contract
I love
disputes.
making all the one we've made.
Yes.
So I guess I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Official EBELS, as Moose said. Basically, I've been a live streamer. I've been a how do I want to phrase this? I've been a content creator for about 4.5 years. I started all the way back in like my late stages of my sophomore year inside of high school. And my background is I started basically learning everything that you could possibly imagine: photo editing, video editing. Started my like content creation journey actually on YouTube and it was when I started getting completely ridiculed and bullied for everything that I was doing that I decided that maybe this isn't something that I want to do, because then it didn't become fun anymore. It was like the mindset shifted from what I thought was a lot of fun to worry about, if I post this, what kind of reaction am I going to get from all of my peers from school, you know? And so at that point, I decided to like drop everything. I stopped content creation around my mid-tier junior year. And it wasn't until 6 months ago that I actually decided to get back into it. And in that time frame of me in high school, I started dabbling with live streaming. I actually fell in love with Twitch and kicked up the ground running, got to about like 900 followers or something along those lines in the like year that I was live streaming. Made a lot of mistakes on that, but also learned a lot. And then I decided to step down. And then, as I said, got back into it about 6 months ago and have made some amazing friends and have networked with a lot of really awesome people. And a lot of them are actually the ones that invited me to be on this podcast.
Hell yes.
And got sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, so I guess
That
that's a perfect. I guess that's kind of a perfect thing to get started with.
That's how you know you made it. That's how you know.
Yeah. So for context, for those of you who don't know, EBELS recently, what was it, a month ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So about a month ago, he was in. Well, you can explain it a bit better than me, but in summary, just to give a little bit of context. EBELS is actually a Raid Shadow Legends sponsored streamer. So EBELS, you maybe want to delve a bit more into that.
So, I was in fact sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, the meme entirely. I'm sure every single, who knows, like maybe comment if you're watching this on the YouTube version and the video version if you actually had a Raid Shadow Legends freaking ad. But yeah, I actually had a really great opportunity to work with Raid Shadow Legends via my streaming platform that I use. There's the typical, like there's slobs and then there's Stream Elements. And so I've done a lot of research. I actually, when I first started, when I was in high school, I used Streamlabs OBS because it was around. Stream Elements actually came out after, and I looked at both of them when I was getting back into streaming about 6 months ago, and I kind of made the deciding choice to go with Stream Elements because my inspiration behind that, one of my top ended streamers that I look up to is Tim the Tapman, and he ended up using Stream Elements, and I was like, okay, well, there you go. Like that's the person that I aspire to be the most like, and so I decided to transfer everything over, which was a pain. It sucked to have to redo all of my alerts, redo everything that involved everything in like my stream, but I did it, and it paid off because Stream Elements has come so far from the time that when I did that and then come to now, because they're constantly reworking everything. There's obviously benefits to both, like it varies based on streamers. It's basically just user preference, but they came out with this thing, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's s.e sponsors, aka Stream Element sponsors. And basically what happened is that based on AI that they have integrated with their system, and where your channel is currently at in growth, and like the analytics that you're getting, the engagement that your channel is getting, they actually offer specific sponsorships for you through them, basically. So I was able to actually obtain a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. I applied for it. They accepted my application, which was insane. Because at that point, I think I was around 1,200 follows. I think I'm 12 to 1,300. And so just recently got back into it. I ran the sponsor for, I think I had 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks. I had 14 days to run with it and fell in love with the game. I think the like analytics that they wanted me to do was they wanted me to stream my like main game, which is Rocket League. I'm a variety streamer, but I primarily focus on Rocket League. So they wanted me to stream that game for about like an hour, and then they wanted me at the peak moment of my my engagement, they wanted me to shift over to Raid. And what ended up happening is that, I shit you not, I fell in love with Raid Shadow Legends so much to where I think they said that they wanted a total of 3 hours of gameplay for the
Shit.
entire 2 weeks. I am not bullshitting. I played 80 hours of Raid Shadow Legends.
Now here's the question: Are you just saying that because you're like Raid Shadow Legends might be watching right now? Guys, I love the game so much.
I played like guys, I played 80 hours. Like,
You guys should check it out. Use code EBELS. You know what I mean? Like in the podcast mid roll.
No, literally, I screenshotted the analytics, and I can show them later if I can find them. But I'm not even joking. It was such a fun game. It brought my entire community. Like it was an amazing sponsor for my community and my audience. It brought all of like my community together. We were able to make our own clan. I had a bunch of people. Everybody really freaking enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun. It brought a whole new level of engagement, to the point to where I actually reached out to see if I could continue the sponsor, and they were just like, no. And I was like,
But I love
I
you.
literally
Take me back,
you know
Raid
when you-
Shadow Legends.
You know when you like spend so much time and effort, you're just like, all right, I'm gonna literally sugarcoat this interview or this freaking
Yeah.
application or resume to the point to where it's literally pristine. Like gold could be dripping off of this at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
And then for someone to be like, nah,
Yeah.
it's the
Nice.
worst feeling.
Who are you again?
Yeah, but nevertheless, I still stand by it. It was an amazing sponsor, even though I wasn't able to continue. Maybe one day in the future I'll be able to continue it.
So, Raid Shadow Legends developers, if you guys are listening to the podcast right now, first off, make sure to hit that like button. But make sure to go sponsor
First
EBELS
of
again
all,
because
hit us up.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I've actually played Raid before. It is pretty fun. It's a fun like time killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you stream it? Did you just are you able
It's
to
a
have a
PC
PC?
game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they have this thing, I forget what it's called. Oh wait, no, I still have it. Plethrium?
Okay.
Or no, Polarium.
Okay, because I was wondering if it was like a device capture or something like that, like a Stream Ninja kind of thing. But
No,
okay,
they have a web-based version of the game,
yeah.
and I've played both versions. I played it on mobile and I played it on PC, and it's actually really, really cool. You can actually link your account that you have on whatever device you start on, like mobile and or PC, and you then can actually link them and have them synced. That way, you can play on your mobile device on the account that you made on your PC, and then just continue progressing. Like if you're on a road trip or if you're at work being lazy,
This
or on a
has
break.
accidentally become a Raid Shadow lesson podcast.
Yeah, Raid Shadow
fucking love it.
lessons.
Raid Shadow lessons.
Welcome to the
Nice.
official Raid Shadow lessons. Shadow's like in the chat. He's like trying to learn the ways of the laundry. Anyway, that'll be when we get Shadow on. But no, that's interesting. You know, like obviously we all meme on Raid Shadow Legends pretty hard. But I remember when I found out from you that you got sponsored by it, like that was pretty crazy. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like a lot of streamers and creators that we know, like not personally, but like, you know, in the larger scheme, like JonTron, for example, right? Like they'll get it and it's like, whoa. So like to think that at the, you know, around that same level, you know, that was pretty crazy. Like a Twitch partner that I know named Rillo, he got the sponsorship at the same time you did, and so he's
really?
got like, yeah, and he's got like 28,000 follows on Twitch.
Jeez.
So it's crazy that like, you know, you were being thrown into the same group. Like, you know, it was like, I was like, you know, it was really insane to see. So like, obviously, good on you, and like, obviously, they looked at your application and you know, thought that was
that's
jolly
crazy.
good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so we do have some questions prepared. So would anyone else here like to tackle one of them?
You don't
No,
want me
no.
to?
I know what you're gonna ask. You shut your mouth.
You're the one who included.
Hey, you're the one who wrote on Mr. Funny Man. Don't shoot the messenger.
I have no idea what I'm in for.
EBELS,
for
there's like one really dumb question that we forgot to tell Moose.
I'm getting rid of it because y'all are roasting
we
the
already have
shit
it
out
written
of me.
down, Buster Brown.
I can see it on.
Yeah, just for everybody, I have no idea what this
Yeah.
is all new. This is candid for me. It's not for them, but it is for me.
It's candid for him and canon for us.
There you go.
I mean,
Well, for a majority of us.
we're pretty scuffed, you know. Again, we just show up and hope to God that we can do our jobs. So
Hell, I literally went to go lay down for a bit, and as soon as I did, I get a message from Moose saying, "Wait, wake up!"
Because the second when you were just like, "I'm going to bed," I was like, "I'm ending stream now." I was like, "Wait, no, Swagger, ring the bell, come back." Don't eat that second
asleep.
sandwich.
I was asleep.
Yeah.
It was like 9:30, and I was like, I'm gonna sleep.
I felt like you know that scene in like Return of the King where they're lighting all the fires and like you can see them light across. That was like that. You know, I like lit the fire and it took forever to get around, but eventually the lads saw it. It's just Redneck with a vape cloud.
Moose woke me up from my nap. Just a single text message. It was incredible.
Can I say I have that power?
I was like, how'd you do that?
So like when did you start streaming, and what made you want to become a streamer? Now you talked about that you know, you started doing it in high school in your sophomore year, but like you know, was there a point in time beforehand that you thought like maybe this is something that I want to do, and like at what point did you think like you're gonna transition? Because like at least for me, you know, I started playing video games, and then it wasn't until like a few years down the line where I was just like, I could see myself like streaming, you know. So what was it for you?
A big spark of my motivation, as I said, was like from Tim Topman and from Shroud and Summit.
Yeah.
Obviously those are like the big ones that I can name off, but there's so many. Like it's very easy to get like into a like comfort zone with streamers, but it's until like what I've noticed is when you branch out and you start like doing the networking aspect of Twitch, that's when you really start like seeing inspiration. And it's also crazy because it's like what the process that I went through with like going to other streamers that aren't like big name people like Ninja, Shroud, Tim Tapman, any of the big guys, you know. When I started going down to like the lower guys, it's like and asking these kind of same questions, that's where my inspiration kind of really resided. As I said, like back in high school, I primarily started on YouTube. I wasn't even thinking about becoming a live streamer. And it wasn't until like some of my buddies inside of high school were just like, "Hey, you should watch this dude. He's insane." And that was Shroud. Um, and that was actually before I believe Shroud ended up. He was still in the esports setting, and I started watching him because I was playing CS:GO like maybe every here and there. Again, I'm a variety streamer. I play pretty much everything. I just have a game that I love to play the most, which is Rocket League. So that's kind of like where it started. It was more of like I played games, and I actually, when I first started streaming, I wasn't even playing Rocket League. I was playing a different game. Was like my main genre, which was Smite, which is a MOBA game, which
Yeah.
is very similar to League of Legends if you've ever played it. So I actually played that, and as I said, like looking back on it, it's so cringy. Like you go through like you're starting like your very first YouTube video, your very first live stream, and you're and like I still have some of my moderators that date back to like one of my moderators goes all the way back down to my first like 25 follows, and he still watches my streams
Yeah.
avidly. And he's just like, it's you come a long way, bud, from the times to when I would freaking come into your channel and you'd be staring at your screen blank face, and now look where you are.
Now you
So
just stare at your
Now you're
screen.
staring at
Tell
3
us behind
screens.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
exactly. Nothing's
Wow.
changed. Nothing's changed. I'm just looking at more.
I always feel that when I'm playing games, just like I'm like I have to react. I can't just sit here like.
Where's
I will say
Tim?
that's part of
Speaking
what
of
I
Tim,
like
he
recording.
Tim,
is
Tim,
not
he was
always
folded
have
up
to
on.
be
He's
on
folded up on the chair right here.
bring him up here. Bring him up here. There you go.
There he is, Timmy boy.
Now, I actually have a question more so for everyone because, like, as you were speaking there, I started to think, like, again, I think a lot of us kind of started off as, or at least Swagger and I, we both started off as YouTubers before we started transitioning into streaming. Because obviously, like, YouTube's been around since what, 2007? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
2005.
2005. Okay, so
Maybe
2000.
4.
Yeah, 2005. Yeah.
Yeah, Fred.
Forever. For
My
us.
my day at the zoo.
Fred.
So
Oh my god.
So 2005, right? So obviously it's been around for a while. I think Justin TV was starting in and around that time, but then it really didn't gain the same sort of notoriety that YouTube
Justin
did.
TV started in like 2009.
Yeah. So and even then, it took a few years to pick up off the ground. I would say it really didn't pick up until Amazon bought it, right? So for me, I really got into streaming. Probably my last, or like when I really got into watching Twitch, which is different from when I started streaming, in my last year of high school. And then I started streaming 2 years later. I was still on the YouTube grind, but I really started watching a bit of Twitch. Not much. I started watching like a little bit of Aphex Arcade, but a bit of the Derp Crew, streaming, because like a lot of the big YouTubers that I watched, like Smitty, and like Smitty wasn't even that big back then, but like none of the bigger ones like Wildcat, like they didn't stream. Well, they didn't stream back then because like YouTube was still such
really a thing back then.
it was a lucrative business to still be on YouTube, and basically Twitch was really, if you wanted that extra income and you felt like your schedule could accommodate that. So I'm just kind of curious as to when you guys found yourselves on Twitch, like more and more. Obviously you guys started picking up streaming the last couple of years, but like to watching, I guess.
Good answer.
It had been like 2 seconds, Swagger.
I know, but it
you
was
moved it the same way.
I knew you were about to talk, so I knew I had to get it in while I still could.
Sorry.
I had to be a smartass.
I knew it. Yeah,
Better than being a dumbass.
I think for me, I started watching YouTube when I was like 11, and I'm like, that's all I did. I would come home and just like watch YouTube all day.
Yeah.
And so I was always kind of aware of streaming like around then, but I was never like that's. I was never like that's the thing.
It's a big thing, yeah.
Like, it's too much to just like sit down and watch someone stream, because like I like to stream highlights videos, but I don't know if I would want to go watch them being made in real time.
Yeah, because on like the surface level, you don't think that like watching a 3-hour stream would be interesting, right? Like there were times where like Jacksepticeye would upload like a 3-hour playthrough of a game, and I'm like, I'm not watching that. I don't have 3 hours, but you could easily find yourself spending 3 hours on Twitch. But when you first start, you don't think that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I never really got into like the whole watching Twitch or but I was always kind of aware of it, and like I think I went on like Twitch a couple times, or I went on like a YouTube live stream, but it wasn't until like I actually like the first time I ever like really was like serious about watching Twitch was when I met Moose for that Shell Shock game. which was it's kind of crazy that like, here we are.
Yeah, like shit, it's one decision to click on a link one day and shell shock kind of changed a lot of things for all of us. Again, we kind of talked about this in the origin story episode, but it's kind of crazy how things have come along. So, Redneck, I when did you find like watching Twitch?
Really, that's pretty much the same thing. Like, I was more on watching YouTube. Started doing that more in like my early 20s. Um, Started like watching like Vanos, the GTA 5 videos that they would
Yeah,
make like way back in the day. Um, and then really the whole Twitch thing was getting on Shell Shock and seeing you on there. I think I knew about it, but I didn't really like pay no attention to it because like you were saying, from watching like highlights of a video to like funny moments where it's all right there in the open
yeah,
to watching a Twitch stream where it could be a lot of just dead time
yeah,
or um, stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, I didn't really get into it much until I got more involved with you and your little community you had started. And that's when I wanted to start doing it myself, and then wanting to do it myself made me want to watch it more to kind of get like pointers from other people or see how they do things, maybe kind of pick up some stuff from it. But
yeah. It's kind
yeah,
of
it's been
crazy because like you both kind of said like you don't really think about it when it first came out, but like now, at least for me, I seriously very much appreciate the one-on-one connection that you can have with a streamer. That you just don't let that get that same level of engagement in a YouTube video, right? Whereas like now, I mean, I still watch a bit of YouTube, but I couldn't imagine what it would be like now to not have that one-on-one engagement with a streamer. I think that's a really valuable thing that the site
mhm,
offers.
I
So I
think a
agree.
big
I'm sorry.
thing.
Go
Oh.
ahead, Apples.
I think a big thing is whatever platform that you're on, you need to invest time into. So like if you're wanting to be adamant about like growing any media outlet, that's a outlet that you need to be on and be a presence in and get your name out there. There's a lot of different ways that you can essentially grow on any platform, but a big thing is like you need to be a presence in a community that's very similar that has a lookalike audience. So like for instance, a big thing that I heard and I like came to the conclusion of is if you're wanting to grow organically, not basically going into somebody's stream and being like, "Hey, I'm a fellow streamer. Like,
Yeah.
let me plug my chat real quick without asking."
Yeah.
It's more of like, no, get your name out there, become a loyal viewer.
Yeah.
Like, show up in somebody else's chat and talk with them and get to know them, and then also look at what they're doing well and see like see why other people are wanting to watch them, because then it pushes you and it's inspiring to you because it's like, okay, this person is like right above like that next cusp line for where I want to be. What are they doing right? And that's where you just pull a lot of your inspiration. I mean, I can tell you right now, I have not watched YouTube in like the last 4 months
Yeah.
because I've been so adamant about my Twitch channel. All my time for content is being on Twitch,
Yeah. No,
unless I need a tutorial.
mhm,
so like I think going on your point of like the plugging in people's streams and stuff, because I think it's such a wide disparity on like everyone's kind of thoughts on it. For me, like if somebody wants to plug on my channel, I'm just like, go for it. Like I can tell you that not a lot of people are gonna go and check it out unless they're extremely interested. Because like I will do shout out commands and like tell people to go check people out, and they won't, or they some people will. I find with that when you come in and do it, most people are super desperate to go check it out. They're not going to. Um, but I mean, like, some people get super mad about it, and some people will like make a massive leap. Like again, like if somebody comes and puts a link in my chat and be like, "Hey, check me out," I'll be like, "Hey, you do you, man," but like I'd appreciate if you didn't do that. But I'm not gonna be like, "Hey, fucker," and like block it out or whatever, right? Like some people like they make a huge leap. I remember like one time I went into someone's stream and I was like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" I started talking to him a bit, and he was just like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just trying to think what I can do for my birthday stream tonight." And he was like, "Hey man, I don't really like it if you plug into my stream. You could get banned for that." I'm like,
Bruh.
I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm sorry for doing it. It's like, I don't
having a conversation.
yeah. So I mean, it's not like I was like, it's my birthday, come follow me or else. I was like, hey man, like I was literally expressing what I was thinking in that, like, I don't know what to do today. And like to immediately take that, and like he went on like a 2-minute rant about like how like it's not cool to plug in people's chat, and like how you can get banned for that. Now how he's not like that, but like he's just warning me as if like I didn't know. I'm like, well, I like, you can do that to somebody who like he's like 5 seconds into your chat, post a link and it's like, check out my stuff, because I see it all the time. I rated somebody the other night, and like there was one guy in his chat who was like, haha, you should mod me, JK. And I was like, and then like 2 minutes later, he was like, "You should raid me, ha ha, JK." And I'm, it's like one of those things where it's like, "You should raid me, ha ha?" Question mark. It's like,
unless,
yeah. It's like, bro, like I don't know, man. Like, I don't understand how there's such a. I guess it's just individual preference, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that goes into something along those lines. And as you said, like everybody's going to handle that situation differently based on the way that they are making their community.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I want to put this? Like Dr. Disrespect, one of the best streamers ever on the Twitch platform before he got booted off of it. His community is like extremely like in your face, will tell you when to shut up and when you're doing something wrong. Like zero tolerance, like to the point and T of what zero tolerance means.
Yeah.
If he does not agree with you and it's his opinion, you're gone. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody else like Lululemon or whoever you want to think of that's like super loving and like is being super encouraging is going to be like,
not to
hey,
cut you off, but there's a streamer named Lululemon.
Yeah.
How is that? I almost got sued from Nintendo, but you're not gonna get sued for that? What sort of bullshit's that? Like all you're missing is the fucking C for copyright. How do you... Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there, but go on.
Apex streamer, by the way.
That is not what I would have pegged, but okay.
Yeah. but yeah, it's like it really is preference from what I've seen, and like the way that I typically handle those kinds of situations, it's like it's kind of like how you said, like if someone wants to do it, like I have links not disabled because I give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I'm at the point to where in streaming, it's like if anybody wants to come in and harass me, because like that happens because I play Rocket League and the community is freaking toxic.
Yeah.
If someone wants to come in and banter with me and like derail me or talk shit to me and say that I'm a terrible person or blah blah, I like that's fine. Like I've got to the point now to where it's like, all right, dude, like I'll brush it right off my shoulder. If they start doing stuff to my community, then that's a whole other thing. And then there's obviously like the whole trolls to where it's like, as you said, like mod me, raid me. Hey, you're like I could go on a full freaking tangent about how I got hacked by one of my followers that well, not hacked. I have a high speculation that one of my viewers from like over 3 years of follow age ended up scamming me.
Oh yeah, I remember
that. About that one night.
So I mean, I think in this business you definitely have to have a kind of a thick skin to not try and take things personally, because otherwise you end up ranting about people on Twitch or on Twitter. You know who you are.
You're so petty.
Oh my god. People that want to grow in that setting, like plugging your channel is only going to get you so far.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's like, all right, if that's the first message that you're saying inside of someone's channel and you're not like being a presence, you have no credibility. How are you going to expect anybody from that has credibility in that person's channel to actually want to come and watch you? What are you providing? Because you haven't shown, they don't know who you are. You're a random person in a void that has no credibility. And so by doing that inside of your Discord, that's a whole other thing. Discord is an amazing tool, but it has to be utilized as a tool. I would say the biggest thing that Discord has provided is like I mean, I don't know, and I can't attest to y'all, but I'm a part of like probably 1,000 different Discords just because of people that I've connected with.
Me too.
And it's it provides you an outlet for networking up the ass, literally. Like you get handed people that you can talk to and that you can get to know, that you can watch, and literally be able to create long-lasting relationships. Like the way that like I met Moose was, I believe, through Rec Niner.
Yeah.
And then Rec ended up raiding you, if I'm not mistaken, and that's how I met you.
Probably. Yeah.
That is a whole other thing, but ended up getting plugged into your Discord and like started networking a little bit, started getting to know you more, and we've stayed in contact through Discord, which is huge. Like networking through that, and that's like going for everybody else. Like Discord has allowed me to be able to meet every single other person inside of this call.
Yeah.
I think
it's a big thing as well, because I remember like it's always a good thing, because with Discord, you'd be surprised about like how much you can get to know somebody over DM and try like get an idea of their personality. And you definitely pick up on it, because like let's face it, like a lot of us, we get messages from a lot of people, and like some of us, some of them are definitely like of the weird variety, whereas like some of them, like you're able to kind of pick up on that vibe. So like for any creators, any small creators who listen to the podcast right now, the best way to do it is like, if you want to get in contact with a streamer that or you want to engage with and you want to create with, it's not to be like, hey, you want a game? Hey, you want to collab? It's not what you want to do, because like we if you say what you're gonna say, Swagger, I'm gonna come through this call and smack you.
No, I'm just gonna say we all know who you're talking about.
That's somehow worse. Anyway. So I mean, doing that kind of stuff it's not cohesive to a good relationship, because immediately right off the bat, at least for me, the idea I get is like, this person is just here to leech
something.
Exactly, right? So I mean, like, it's much better to try and form a relationship, and it's something I learned a while ago, because when I first got on Twitch, because the YouTube environment is much different. In the YouTube environment, you can comment on someone's video and be like, hey, your video was great, let's get some games together sometime, let's collab. At least back in like 2014, 2015, that's what it was like, right?
True.
I don't know if it's still like that. I'm not as active on YouTube, but on Discord and Twitch, it is not the same. You go into someone's like Twitch stream and you say that, if I see that, it also depends on your size as well. But when I used to see that, I might be a little bit more inclined.
That's like going up to a girl in DM and be like, "Hey, want some fuck?"
Yeah, exactly. Because like that they're only there for one thing, or you can't read.
Going up to a girl asking for a number immediately.
Yeah. You have to try and build the relationship, right? Because like otherwise, the person knows what your intentions are. They maybe mistake your intentions as like, oh, they're just leeching off of me, right? It's something I learned a while ago. I don't know necessarily if it works for me necessarily when people do this, but something that a creator told me one time is like, don't ask to play with them on stream. Ask to play something off stream just to get to know them. That way, they definitely get the sense that you're not there clout chasing, right? Because again, like, like I play with people a couple of times where I'm just like, I don't know them too well, but I play with them because like they seem like nice people. Like I don't play with anybody that I don't think that are nice people, because like it's like I'm not gonna waste my time, in a sense of like, if you're a real toxic person, I don't really want to hang out with you in general, even just outside of as a streamer. But I'm always giving people the benefit of the doubt. But I play once or twice with people that I consider to be like streamers, and like we're collabing, right? But people like, I'm more so about this to build relationships, because everyone in this call I would consider to be a good friend, right? Because it's like you have that connection, you have that relationship. It's not like, like Percival and Swagger and Redneck and EBELS, they're not here just to like get views from each other, right?
So,
you want to be wine dined
without calling out people.
That is. What do you mean?
Literally, just like, we all know EBELS except for maybe one or two.
I thought
only one of them.
You were so unaware. Two minutes ago, you were like, I think we know who you're talking about, and now you're like, Moose not so subtly calling people out. What do you mean?
I know exactly who you're talking about before. And I know
Stop talking.
Now.
Stop talking. God damn it. You didn't open your mouth for 5 minutes, and this is what you have to bring to the table.
I've been letting the man speak, damn it.
Okay. Does anyone have like a story, maybe a Redneck Swagger, Percival, Levels, you guys have any stories about like
you
something
really
similar?
Want me to keep talking? You just told me to
Maybe
shut
maybe
up.
maybe not Swagger. Redneck, do you have do you have anything kind of similar about that, where you just kind of got like a weird message from somebody or like a weird request?
Nah, honestly, not really. I haven't really been doing it that often, or that long to really have that kind of influence. I would get the bots a lot.
Yeah.
Or if you want followers, here's this link or whatever it is. I'd get that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that shit. But ever I did have one. Just I had no idea who it was asking to collab sometime, and if I don't know you, I'm not gonna play with you. I'm not.
Right. Yeah.
Or if no one else that I know knows you, then I'm not doing that.
Because that's also yeah. Because like if you know, if somebody like again, if somebody can't vouch for you that I know, it's like, I mean, like again, I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt. And then the biggest thing is spend some time, get to know us, hang around, and then you can pick up on those vibes. But like coming into the chat for the first time, and be like, hey, we should collab. Just because even if you're like another creator, it's like, I don't know, dog. You know, because you don't know if they're gonna come in and like, you know, say something sus or bring down the vibe of the stream, or you know, so
I think there's a very big difference between like, I don't know, because like my channel is based on like teaching people how to play Rocket League, because
Yeah.
like I've been in the top 0.5 percentile of the entire game before, and I still am a pretty average, pretty good player.
Our Messiah, we are not worthy.
I was like, whoa.
Wait, do it with Tim.
Alright.
Do it with Tim.
Oh my god.
Let's get it.
There you go. We need to get Tim on the podcast a bit. Well, Jesus Christ, we need to get insurance for him too.
I mean, I play with my viewers pretty often. I mean, I've actually orchestrated it in my schedule now on my Fridays and Saturdays. I actually play with my viewers, and it's got to the point now to where I've even reworked that to where I play with my viewer, or I play with my average community, like my loyal community base on my Fridays, and then on my Saturdays, it's strictly anybody that comes into my chat that's brand new. I prioritize them. Like people that I've never played games with before, because I also do coaching. Like I coach people how to be better in Rocket League, and it's a little bit of like my niche. Because like that's like a level of integration that you can't get on YouTube. YouTube will literally be like, all right, do X, Y, and Z, and then you're golden. And then like Twitch is like, no, like that's not gonna work
do it
for
together,
you and your playstyle. So I would say like my reason in saying that is like because I never hop in cons with any of these people. The reason behind it is I'm bringing them on stream, but I'm not bringing them into a voice call.
Yeah.
It's they still listen to my stream. They still listen to like what I have to say to them, and I'm bringing them on, and that's like a whole other like interaction.
That's smart because you get them staying in chat, because it's easy to be like, oh, just hop into Discord, and then they close out a chat and you lose that viewer. So that's a pretty big brain.
And that's the biggest thing. It's like, or if they have to, if like I've had it where people can't like load my stream and play a game at the same time because some people just don't have that great of internet. I understand that. Like years ago, literally had like my tooth partner had 367 kilobyte download speed.
Even Redneck's like, oh yeah, that's bad. As resident expert, that's bad. No.
I thought I was a king when I had 3 megabytes.
I play on the hotspot.
I play on hot potato.
I will get 4. Can use lightning bolt.
Yeah. If the wind's blowing the right direction.
My potato.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's gonna windmill up and he's just sitting there.
He's got a
scene from Ratatouille.
He's got a little electric fan in front of the windmill, one to power the other.
They're plugged in his little circle.
How to go get more AAA?
But to get back on subject,
sorry, we do that a lot out here.
You're good. But like the biggest thing is like if they can't watch my stream and play a game with me at the same time, then I analyze it because it's also like I'm playing with somebody live and I give coaching. And so like everybody else that's watching or is in the queue system that I have built into my stream to play next, they're also seeing what I'm teaching somebody else. So it gives them more interaction because it's like, oh, I'm going to be playing next. I can also implement this if they choose to do so. But if they have to leave during the game play that I'm actually playing with them, it entices them to come back to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
It gives me multiple times of interaction because like I'm like working on something like I'm trying to like work with some of my moderators to kind of like look at analytics because that's something that I really like to look at into. But what I'm trying to formulate right now is like how many times can you have like a random viewer, let's say like a random viewer that you've never seen before, how many times does it take for them to make a presence in your channel
Yeah.
before they become a legitimate loyal viewer?
Yeah.
3 times.
That's what I'm like looking into. If like the 3-time rule then becomes
Oh,
like
Swagger was
all right,
actually
you can
right.
I'm actually looking into that. Like there's people that
Praise
say
the
like
world.
3 times and then there's people that say like 5 times. Then it can like vary based on like your actual stream schedule if you're consistent. There's a lot of variables that go into it. But I'm looking into that, and from what I've formulated based on it, like if you have a viewer that can come back 3 times throughout a periodic like week or two, you can kind of figure out like, okay, I've solidified a new average viewer.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because there's around 3 times of Ninja coming in that I was like, all right, this guy's gonna keep on showing up.
Oh,
And that's
look
when
at
I
you
like
go.
got that feeling.
So I just wanna bring up here. Tim's in the back. He's like, yo, dap him up, bro. Dap him up. You're leaving him hanging.
No, he's like falling down.
Dap him up, bro. He's waiting.
Bro.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
The people listening to this are just like,
Yeah, if you want to talk about it, gonna be so.
My God. Well, I was gonna say, with you doing like those whole teachings and things, Moose mentioned that you well, maybe, yeah. I've actually been getting into Rocket League a lot more recently. Me and my buddy
Sure.
been playing a lot. But Moose mentioned that you do a lot of the training modes. Is that why you do the training? Is to kind of get a better feel of it and maybe help others along? Or
So like you're saying the custom training stuff?
Mhm.
So my thing that I typically like, depending on where you're at inside of Rocket League, kind of deciphers what I think that you should be prioritizing. Like
Mhm.
every rank in my mind, like there's a difference on what you need to focus on. And then also there's a lot of speculation because Rocket League is very diverse, and a lot of people, like I have 12-year-olds, like I have 12-year-olds that are better than me. I have people that are like crazy mechanic gods, and they suck at friggin' understanding about awareness in the game. It's like it's a legitimate sport when you think about the game itself. And so what I found is like when I do my training sessions, like it's to warm up my mechanics. It's kind of like if you were stretching. It's like a big way that I can like
your warm-ups.
yeah, it's like a way that I can like brush, like warm up my thumbs, like my fingers, allow my like what's the word I use?
Like the
My
reaction
second
speed, yeah.
Your
my
muscle
second
memory.
Yeah.
exactly. I call it second nature. It's like because at this point I have close to 2,000 hours into the game. It's like for me to hit a like double tap or an air dribble, like that to me is like second nature. I don't have to think about it. I don't need to like worry like, okay, I need to drive up the wall, I need to jump, I need to like do this and that.
Yeah.
And it's like no, like that's all like that's over my head. But yeah, like the reason that I do my training is one, it allows me to kind of like flex, I guess, like my mechanical ability, but like gameplay is where it actually is. And like if you're a Rocket League streamer, from what I found, if you're like streaming that game, Rocket League is an amazing community. It's a constantly growing game. Just went up to like 1.6 million player base because
Wow.
Epic took it over and
Made
made it a
free.
free to play,
Yeah.
which was a great move on them.
But now I can't make money off of it anymore by selling on the marketplace.
There's
The
some
good
that
old days.
always
I
in it for
know
the money,
exactly
isn't it?
what you're talking about. People that do this for the wrong reasons are people that
Yeah,
I lose so much respect.
for sure. Yeah, because I mean, nobody
It's
should
like
go
the
into these kinds
people.
of things.
No,
So go ahead, sorry.
it's like the people who say like, "Oh, yeah, dude, it's getting good, famous on YouTube is easy. Getting a lot of views is easy. Just do you
Yeah, do
Fortnite funny moments and
that.
just be like Twitch Fortnite funny moments and then put that up and it'll get thousands of views. That's all you gotta do. It's like, all right, but are you enjoying making that?
Yeah,
Is that
exactly,
actually what
right.
you want to be doing? What the
Yeah, because I mean, like that's the thing, right? Like, you know, obviously Russ kind of took over Twitch the last couple months, and like everyone was like, "Hey, why don't you guys play Russ? Why don't you guys play Russ? You guys should get Russ." And I'm just like, I'm not gonna play
I
something
don't
if I,
enjoy it.
yeah, like I'm not gonna force myself to play a game that I'm not gonna enjoy just because it's doing well. You know what I mean? So I mean, like there has to be a level of like, I mean, you can. There are definitely people who do that and like force themselves to make content out of it.
I mean, that's kind of how we did it with Valorant.
Yeah, that's true. When Valorant first came out, we were definitely grinding the shit out of it because it was popular. It was a little bit fun, but there were definitely, but there, I don't
I
think.
enjoyed it.
No, you didn't. You were like,
I
Riot
did.
is the stupidest thing ever.
Well, no, right. The fucking anti-cheat's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
The game itself was fun.
But I don't think so. There were times. I mean, we're all human. You know, we all get ups, and this group especially has a very short temper with games. So I mean, like when things start to go poorly, we're like, we're off to the next one. It's a good thing we're variety streamers because we would have not have made it if we had to stick to one title. Because like, how many times have we played Valorant? We're just like, things are not clicking. We are out of here.
Shell shock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question I was gonna ask was, you've played Rocket League with all of us except for Redneck. So how would you rank us? As far as like who's the best, who's the worst? Redneck and Swagger are both naturally good at video games. Percival is ungodly good at Rocket League, and then there's me. So I mean, like,
There's whale poo, and then there's you.
so yeah, you're understanding.
So we get out on the hockey rink though, and then it'll show us what's what.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not trying to get. No.
I'm getting my hockey stick.
No. Okay, so as I said, like, or as Moose said, okay, put it down. Put it down.
Stop,
Yeah.
police.
So yeah, I played with Percy, Swagger, and
me.
freaking Moose.
I was that forgettable.
All my memories just went black.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
well.
Don't make fun of me
So-
again, bitch. I'm in the system.
Yeah, literally, I heard that, and I was like, what? But there's a TikTok that he posted when we actually did the live stream collab between all of
I
us,
forgot about that.
and when we played, we just basically went back and forth. I actually think I 1v3'd y'all.
Yeah, you
I
did.
don't.
You did.
I don't think I won that.
I
I
think we won.
think y'all won.
The fact
I'm
that
not
you-
sure, because I'm pretty sure Moose scored on us.
Yeah, the fact that you
Moose
brought up the
did own goal.
TikTok, yeah, like
Yeah. So the fact that Moose owned gold and got excited that he owned gold, I would say that he's probably
hit the ball.
silver.
no,
I
it,
will
was-
say
He said
he has gotten better.
it was
I
so
would say he's
genuine.
probably, if he was paying attention and learned like minute
Yeah,
details about the game, silver to gold. Swagger, I think you said you had 30 hours in the game. I would probably ping you if you're actually paying attention. It's really not that difficult to get into the gold category. So I would say that you're probably a solidified gold player, but then again, that's based on my analysis when I played with you last, which I think was like maybe a month ago.
yeah.
2 weeks to
Yeah,
a month
I
ago.
don't play that game often.
Yeah.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
Percy's, I want to say tie plat to diamond. I think he's in diamond now, if I'm not mistaken.
Excuse me. Is Reddick
Yeah.
frozen for anyone else?
Oh yeah, I just realized
Beautiful.
that.
I was like, he is pissed.
What you say about me?
His hotspot ran out. The lightning bolt struck.
he ate the potato. Hey, Redneck, are you
Oh,
back,
well, there he
bud?
goes.
Hey,
Hi. You didn't
I
hear
had
anything you
to,
said,
I had
right?
to switch. I had to switch to my hotspot because my internet went out. I think we got a
Beautiful.
big ice storm coming in. So
He's chalking up the windmill. I
You
think
need to just raise the
Gotta crank
fork
it.
an inch.
yeah, raise the sales. I think it's
But-
hilarious that you brought up the TikTok because it's like because like I scored on myself and like I genuinely thought that I actually got a good goal because I came in, I was like, all right, Buzz are gonna get this first. Came in, got it. I was like, and then it said official EBELS scores. I was like, that doesn't make any sense here.
Wait a minute.
And then I was
Wait a
like,
minute.
hold
You
up.
lied. Something's afoot here.
I mostly play hockey, the hockey
Oh,
game
really?
mode, and like Rumble.
Snow Day?
We love.
I'm
we love
actually
it.
I'm
We love
actually I'm
love
I'm
hockey.
platinum in Rumble, and I'm high gold in hockey to like
Snow Day.
low platinum.
Yeah, again, I bring down the skills of everyone here. So
Yeah.
if they didn't play with me as much as they did, they'd be a lot higher in the rankings. But I kind
It's
of
There have
easy.
been a couple of times where we'll say "goddamn moose" or "yellow moose."
once or twice.
Yep.
Like I like that Evels is like talking about like how good he is at Rocket League. Tim's like, whoa, we got
Whoa,
we got a gamer over here.
badass alert.
The craziest thing that's happened to you on stream, good or bad?
Craziest thing I've said on, or not said on stream.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, like I'll
No, the craziest thing that's
thing-
happened.
Yeah.
Got you. That's a So, well, recently, craziest thing that happened was the fact that I was accepted for Raid Shadow Legends. That was
Yeah.
crazy. But
Yeah.
more real time. A month ago, I had one of my like brand new viewers. His name's OT Flight, and one of my buddies that I've been playing games with for quite some time, Type 2 Gaming. Both of those are their Twitch handles, by the way. I've been playing with Type 2 Gaming. His name is John. I've played with him now for like probably close to a year and a half to 2 years. OT Flight was somebody that just found my channel from Rocket League because he saw that I was doing coaching sessions on side of that platform. And they decided that like OT was following for I think less than a couple days. First stream, I think he dropped like 5 gifted subs to my channel and was like, "Whoa, okay, dude!" Like that was nuts. And then not a week later it goes by, and OT just decides, "Yo, 50 subs." Like he literally dropped 50 gifted. And
He
I
actually
was
did
just,
it.
and Type 2 Gaming was like, all right, 10 gifted right off the bat. He wanted #1 spot. And that's kind of what influenced me to do that. He was like, I'm going to get the #1 spot on the all time. And I was like, okay, no, stop spending money. I'll manipulate the system for you. It's resetting next month.
Yeah.
Resets 10 gifted, starts off. OT is just like, nah. Drops 50, and then they both end up gifting like 56 subs that month
Jesus
between the
Christ.
two, and I'm just like, this is insane. Like this month was nuts. So that's like the craziest thing that's happened. Like I was starstruck
Yeah,
because I
that-
went from averaging like 100. I went from 120 subs to where last month I broke over 220.
Yeah.
Insanely weird and like kind of sus. Kind of goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier with like people being sus in chat.
Yeah.
Recently, I'm not gonna say anything to like protect everybody because I like before I even like go into anything, like I love all of my viewers, like, and some people just need a little bit more like cushion
Yeah.
inside of them being inside of the chat. You know, if that's just like the easiest way I can like describe it. It's just very, very specific.
Yeah. Some
Like
people need
some
insulation.
viewers, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I even like talk about the situation, then I'm calling them out, and I don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like past is in the past. We can like our body lives in the present, so we can't allow our mind to live in the past. Great
Yeah.
saying that I
Damn.
like.
Okay. Damn. So
Dropping knowledge on us.
he's great on Rocket League and philosophically. You love to see that.
I want to finish this off with one last question that kind of continues on with the whole not living in the past, going on in the future and all that.
I'm scared. I'm terrified of what he's gonna ask.
We don't know what this question
This
is.
is a genuine good question.
We
for once.
didn't vet this. All right. Most of the questions
right.
we asked, we
Right.
vetted beforehand.
No one does anything without having a plan for the future. So you as a streamer, as a content creator, as a trainer, where do you eventually want to be in the community and as a streamer and content creator?
I'm proud of
Damn.
you. I'm proud. Good job.
Yeah,
Can I
bro.
Look
get
at
my
that.
gold star now?
Look at that. Look. He
Good
he aged it. He aged a full year right then. Right then. Attaboy, Swagger. Great work. Oh, by the way, Elbows. Yeah, it's Swagger's birthday.
Yesterday.
yesterday. Well,
Yes.
Yeah, I said happy
he started
birthday
the
He
to
did.
him.
He
recording.
did.
Yeah,
He did.
yeah.
And I appreciate it. Thank
so,
you.
So beautiful,
course, dude.
beautiful work. You're already wiser, Swagger.
Yeah.
Realistically, this kind of comes down to like my upbringing and what I kind of do, like in my personal life. A big thing that I actually was a part of before I started getting into Twitch was I mean, I'm a churchgoer. I'm a Christ follower, is what I like. So like classify myself as, like, you can call it Christian or religion, whatever you want. But realistically, I say I'm a Christ follower. I'm avid in my church community, and I was serving inside of my worship team. I actually aspire to try and become a worship pastor. That's one of the goals that I have in my life. But I also served inside of kids ministry at my or young youth is what they call it,
Yeah,
youth
yeah.
ministry.
Mhm.
It's where we just would hang out at the church with the youth leaders and the youth pastors and be able to kind of just impart wisdom on kids' lives varying from ages all the way in middle school all the way up through high school and see them off to college. And I really enjoyed that, but I also had my own calling for like worship and stuff. And I actually, because of school, had to step down from that. And when I stepped down from school, I mean, that's when I kind of like when I got firm inside of my like schooling and started taking that seriously. I was like, okay, I have this downtime to fill and I'm playing a lot of games and I really miss streaming. I really want to get back into streaming because it was a huge thing and I miss the community that I was able to build. And um, I just missed content. I miss creating content and having a purpose behind just playing a game. Because like at this point, like when you play a game, like for me, I don't play the game. I don't play the games that I play because of the fact that I want to play them. I mean, obviously, I want to play Rocket League because I like the game, but there's a new meaning behind me playing it now because I am able to like impart my wisdom outside of people that um, don't necessarily like want to grow inside of the game. Like it's a whole other avenue that I've created for myself inside of the game that I already like to play. So it allows me to like back and forth and have more replayability. And you can kind of create that with any game that you play. And I mean, having a solidified game that you play as well on like that your community knows. That way you can network inside of that branch inside of Twitch. It allows you to grow faster. Uh, so for me to be able to do that inside of Rocket League means that I'm able to be on the Rocket League content more. I can get rated more. I can have more exposure. And that all comes down to the fact on the big question, what happens if I make it? Like what happens if I grow? What happens if I like if I blow up next week or next month or a year from now? And to kind of answer your question, it's at a point to where I have no expectation. I think realistically speaking, any streamer that's getting inside of the like community needs to have no expectation. If you're
Yeah.
going into streaming with expectation, saying that all right, I can be the next streamer, you look at like it's not unknown knowledge. You can look at any big streamer like Ninja or Timtat or Summit or anybody, and you see the number of 60,000 subscribers. That's general public knowledge.
Yeah.
You can go into that and you can multiply that number by 3. That's their sub revenue right then and there
Mm.
a month. It's very, and that's enticing to people. Like a 12-year-old looking at that, they look at it and say, wow, they play games for a living. I
Yeah.
want to do that. But it's so much more than that. Like I've had conversations with Moose and he can probably banter back off from this, but it's like playing games on stream now is not enough because everybody's doing it. You have to really niche yourself and come up with new exciting ways, like you guys doing this podcast, having other content, like me with doing my 3D prints and design, like as I show on stream. I do this for people because it's me, and it's hard to find a niche
Yeah,
for your
it's
channel.
unique to you. Yeah.
But when you have something that is unique, that makes you unique, it makes you have more rewatchability. Just as you need to create replayability for the games and the communities that you want to be inside of, you have to create rewatchability for your viewers.
Yeah.
And that's the huge thing. And there's so many different creative ways that you can go. Some things are limited based on like the integration, like I've tried to break Twitch before with integrating things like inside of my chat.
Yeah.
But realistically, you can get as creative as you want.
There goes Tim. He's had one too many to drink.
I broke Tim with that knowledge, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, I can't handle this.
Oh, God. Okay.
It was too much. He had to get all the way down on the ground for that, pal.
Yeah.
But that's like, regardless on wherever Twitch ends up going, like obviously I would love to be able to take content creation as a serious job or
Yeah.
a career, but I have no expectation. I mean, that's why I am finishing up my AS degree inside of digital design, and I plan on starting up my own 3D printing business, and I also want to own and rent out real estate.
Man.
I want to be able to be the David Dobrik on Twitch, the person that is able to go and find people that are brand new to streaming that have massive freaking goals, saying, or they're streaming off of a potato, and I drop a $5,000 donation and they're able to build their dream PC.
Yeah.
The
Well, you
Elon
know
Musk
what?
of Twitch, everyone.
Drop 1.4
Dropping that
billion
knowledge,
in
bro.
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know what I say to that? I say, first of all, you're an amazing, humble person. I say, second of all, if you're listening or watching this and you don't know who EBELS is or you haven't checked him out yet, go check him out in the description.
Yeah, he will definitely be
Give
in the
this man
description.
some support, goddammit.
Of course, man. I mean, like that's a big thing about what we kind of like to highlight here on the podcast is, positive people. It's really important for us because, again, we've all been streaming for quite a long time here, and we kind of know the negative and the toxic side of Twitch of people who are just out for the money and people who are just in it for the clout. So it's obviously refreshing and kind of who we as the SBC like to surround ourselves with like-minded creators who think in a similar kind of wavelength as us as far as that goes. So one last question I want to ask before we wrap things up here. It's a quick one. Obviously, we know that you like to do singing and guitar and a cappella. So would you like to be a part of the SBC holiday album?
Oh, wait, what?
He's like, no, this is gonna be bad.
Below too soon, Moose.
He's like, this is gonna ruin my career. It seems like a career-killing move. It's more so just a meme between us in the crew. We have an idea for a holiday album, but it's nothing more than that of just like
idea for a holiday album.
not the crew.
He has
Me. We have too many ongoing memes. Sometimes we can't keep track of them all. So anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. We're a little bit over. We'll try and fix it in post.
It is 3 a.m. Eastern time.
But anyway, we're a little bit over time here. But obviously, we didn't want to cut EBELS off here because the man's got a lot to say, and a lot of it, it rings true. We definitely vibe with it because like exactly everything you said. We click with, we vibe with because I mean like EBELS undoubtedly, and I think a lot of you guys who hadn't really gotten to know him as well as I have, can definitely kind of reaffirm the statement of like EBELS is definitely one of like the more humble and just like downright good people on this site and in this community, because like. He's not reading from a teleprompter like this. Like, again, I've had a lot of late night conversations with the guy. Like, this is what he thinks and feels about all of it, right? And it's very rare and far in between that you meet these kind of people. And again, for all you creators out there who want to get started, definitely surround yourself with people like EBELS because that is it's good for you, it's good for them, it's good for everybody because it'll rub off on you, it'll rub off on other people, and that's what you want. Again, EBELS, we'd like to formally thank you for coming on to the show here. It was a lot of fun having you on here. Like it was great. We learned a lot about Rocket League. We learned a lot about life, and we
had a little bit about love
and a lot about ourselves.
Tear rolling down.
An audible tear, not
an audible tear.
Drip. And we learned that Moose is hardcore as silver.
All right, buddy. All right. Get him out of here. You're not invited to the next episode.
No, I will say it was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys bringing me on and allowing me to talk about my journey on Twitch and also be able to get to know y'all a little bit. It was a lot of fun.
Of course, man. So again, guys, if you want to go see EBELS, link to his Twitch will be down below in the description. And for myself, Real Canadian Moose, the Evil Redneck, Bad News Percy, RedHeart476, and Official EBELS. This is the Shower Brewcast signing off for the night. You guys take it easy.
I thought you said Sharp
Peace.
Brew ass.
The Shower Brew ass. We're rebranding. We're making
And
t-shirts.
that's a wrap.
That's a wipe. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe.
Wipe on the Sharp Brew ass.
drive safe. Don't forget to tip your waitresses, and we'll see you later. God, what a scuffed podcast.
Oh my god.